Hi, my name is Kim Hofstra, and tonight I'd like to talk to you about Chapter 3 in Smith's book, Learning from a Stranger. I found the first section on cultural beginnings to be fascinating. I've understood for some time now that culture is something that is learned. However, it never occurred to me that this learning actually begins before a child is even born. Smith discusses a study done during the final 6 weeks of a mother's pregnancy where she's told to read the same story to her child every single day. Through the study, it was revealed that babies showed a preference to the story read to them during the pregnancy over other stories. The babies could also tell a difference between languages and showed a preference to their mother's language. In the next section of the chapter, Smith shares the idea of growing up cultured, which reinforces the idea that culture is learned. Our life experiences simply shape what we believe is normal. Later, we begin to label these experiences as either good or bad with the help of our parents. Smith shares another study in which mothers of American and Japanese mothers are interacting with their infants during a playtime. And through this study, it was found that American mothers focused on labeling the objects that they were playing with, which reinforces the whole idea that things are what is most important in our culture, while the Japanese mothers focused on building relationships with their child and focusing on developing appropriate social manners. This section was very impactful to me because growing up, I experienced two vastly different cultures. I spent my school year with my mom living in a small rural town in Iowa, and my summer months with my dad out on the East Coast, right outside of Washington, D.C. And so from a very early age, I actually learned to adapt my behaviors based upon where I was living. In Iowa, I tended to be a little more laid back and relaxed with my language and mannerisms that I used, while in Washington, D.C., I wanted to project myself as being a little more mature. I was very concerned about the way that I spoke with others and focused also on acting appropriately and with good manners. In Iowa, I also attended an all-white rural community school, whereas in Washington, D.C., I had the opportunity to interact with a variety of individuals from different backgrounds and races and cultures, for which I'm very grateful for that experience. This gratitude that I have, however, has come with somewhat of a struggle for me, just because these cultural differences were rooted in the brokenness of my parents' divorce. However, with time, as I've said, I'm extremely grateful for these life experiences that I have, because I realize that it definitely impacted me and shaped the person that I am today. I would add, however, to Smith's section on gratitude that we should focus on the fact that God created all of these different cultures, and for that we need to be thankful in how God created all of us. And I wonder sometimes if there shouldn't be more focus in our communities on celebrating these differences rather than being so quick to judge one another. I love the verse that Smith used at the end of the chapter from Romans 12, verse 2, which says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world." As Christians, we need to continually seek for ways to bring reconciliation to our world. I view my calling as an educator to help my students to understand one another, to be respectful of our differences and our different cultural backgrounds, and that we should seek first to get to know a person versus judging a person's actions in order to continue to help bring peace and hope to our fallen world. Thank you.